Aloha! How to introduce young people to the most important projects of the past? Most publishers simply release remasters with HD textures. There are those who completely rework the graphics but almost do not touch the gameplay, as in Ratchet & Clank or Warcraft Reforged. Finally, sometimes there are real remakes like Resident Evil 2. It's hard to do so, but the result is outstanding. The first parts of Resident Evil kept player in constant tension thanks to fixed viewing angles. What is waiting for the turn? Is the monster hiding behind the closet? The sense of suspense scares much more than the low-poly freaks. In a remake of Resident Evil for GameCube, which smoothed out wrinkles in 2015, the authors remained faithful to tradition. But in the new Resident Evil 2, they hung the camera behind characters' back, as in Resident Evil 4 and later parts. At the same time, playing Resident Evil 2 as a shooter, shoot the enemies with the lead is almost impossible, although you want to do it this way. Your hero is well armed and you have lots of cartridges in your backpack, so you want to shoot them. But it's not easy to kill even one zombie here. They can follow you quite far, and even the closed door is a temporary barrier for them. You carefully aim, shoot a zombie in the head, splashes of blood, and the dead man lumping in your direction as if nothing had happened. Neither the second nor the third bullet stops him. Just click closer, the hand tries to cure, and an annoying sleep turns a harmless situation into a panic attack. Shotgun and other heavy artillery of course damage the head completely, but you won't find enough bullets for each ordinary opponent. Therefore, it's necessary to spend ammunition only on those who cannot be bypassed. Fear in the Resident Evil 2 also catches up by the high-quality sound. Often you still don't see the monster, but you feel that somewhere nearby lurked something unkind. In good headphones you will get a lot of vivid impressions.
Jesus! They're everywhere!
Capcom is almost the first in the world to bring a real-time binaural system into play. You will feel with the back of your head where exactly the zombie grunts, which you just ran past right now. From projects where the creators achieved a similar effect, only Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice comes to mind with its crazy whispers. Resident Evil 2 a balm for the soul of those who is turned back by walking simulators, who have filled the horror genre nowadays. The fact that you are able to fend off opponents and not just run away only intensifies the atmosphere here. After all, any optional fight is a waste of equipment, the stock of which is very limited. The actors surprisingly accurately worked on the remake of the plot. They saved almost all the important scenes and shuffled them so that even for the veterans it would be really interesting to play it one more time. Also, they cut it off all the ridiculous moments and expanded the role of the characters who were originally past. As before, police officer Leon Kennedy and student Clary Redfield, whose brother was hustling through an ominous mansion in Resident Evil, ended up in zombie-hidden epidemic of Raccoon City. They spent the first half of the game in the police station and in his underground parking, then breathe a little fresh air outside, dive into the faded sewers and penetrate the secret laboratory of the Umbrella Corporation. But the main mechanic of the game is revealed only in the police station. It's 3 floors and parking, a maze with a lot of branches, cut-offs and hooks. It is especially impressive at the beginning, when you still don't know where to go and which doors to lock for keys. Sewerage and laboratory locations are much more linear and boring, and visually they are poorer. However, the main achievement in the field of graphics, spectacular wounds and dismemberment. As in Dead Space, there is a sense in self-harm. If you tear off the enemy's legs, he will have to crawl behind you, and without hands he won't break in through the locked door. This is probably the most brutal and naturalistic game to date, and at the same time it doesn't cause such disgust as Resident Evil 7 with its mold and worms. So on the first run you will spend about 6 or 8 hours. Then you, as in an original Resident Evil 2, will be offered to play from the eyes of the second character, and it's again about 5 or 6 hours of the gameplay. His road through the police station is rather different. The assortment of weapons and parts of the episodes in the middle of the game are completely different, but at the end the story will stand on the same rails. Runs in bonus modes are designed for 10 or 15 minutes. Although the Resident Evil 2 is worth it to go through second time, not only because of more complete final screensavers. This game is the best way to join the Resident Evil series and even the horror games. What do you think about this Resident Evil remake? Write it in the comments, it will be really interesting. And if you like the review of the game, share it in your social networks. For us it will be additional motivation to make more and more reviews of future games. Cheers guys!